Town Talk Radio Productions brings you this edition of the TownTalk Show, where you'll get information and insight on what's happening all across Terry County, including city, county and school news, civic events, people of interest, and much, much more. And now, here's Town Talk.
Good morning and welcome to the Town Talk Show. This is Kelsey Slaughter. I have Miss Danessa Churchill with me and Michelle Cooper. How are you this morning?
I'm good.
Good
Morning.
And you're here to talk all things water?
All things water today. That's who I am today, is water.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Well, we are going to go ahead and take a short break, and when we come back, we'll get all the scoop on the water with Michelle Cooper. Stay tuned.
At Clinic Pharmacy, we monitor all your prescriptions so you don't have to. Why is that important? It's vital for your pharmacist to check for drug-to-drug interactions with every prescription you fill. And with more than 136,000 prescription drugs available in the United States, you need a caring, dedicated pharmacist to be sure that one prescription you're taking won't interact negatively with a new prescription. Caring for your health is what our professionals do best. That's Clinic Pharmacy, 901 Tahoka Road here in Brownfield, 637-7049.
Brownfield ISD, providing opportunities for all students to excel, exhibiting success in academics, athletics, and band. Staying in front of technology using smartboards, iPads, and Google Books. Great facilities, including a state-of-the-art indoor practice field and training center. Uncover the opportunity. Brownfield ISD, committed to excellence.
Welcome back to the Town Talk Show this morning. Michelle, thank you for coming in.
Most welcome.
And for beating us all on the morning show quiz.
Playing along earlier. That's always
giving us
fun.
a little school lesson. So what's going on? What's going on over with the water district?
Oh, this is our busy time of year, or my busy time of year. March sort of kicks off the beginning of, just some awareness weeks and that type of thing. Also, we start talking about the calendar contest in two of the districts. So in Yoakum County and Terry County, I'll be going around. As a matter of fact, I've got a program this afternoon at Kelly Elementary in Denver City. But I'll do a presentation to the kiddos of 4th and 5th graders about water conservation and just with some facts about what to do around the house and around your home, and teach them a little bit about the difference between groundwater and surface water, and get the kids to start thinking about what they really see or what they really deal with on a regular basis, because a lot of kids don't realize that our water out here in West Texas primarily comes from groundwater, so from the Ogallala Aquifer. And so I put that information out there, and then I challenge the kids to develop a piece of artwork that goes into the calendar contest. We award 13 prizes. The winners of the cover in each district receive $50. So it's a nice little fun thing. In Gaines County, we do that right before Christmas, so they get a little extra cash for Christmas, and then we do it at the end of the school year. The presentations for Denver City and Plains and Wellman, Brownfield, and Meadow, we do them at the end of the school year award, so they get a little bit of cash to go take with them for the summertime, which is kind of fun. And then each of the 12 months of the calendar are represented by different pictures or different kids, and they get $25 cash prize as well. So those contests are coming up. We'll have a deadline on the contest of April 10th. So anybody listening out there with kids in the 4th or the 5th grade is able to participate, and they'll have an entry form that they get, and when I come do the calendar presentation to them. So that's the most pressing thing right now, starting up. But I'll hit all those school districts, all 5 of those school districts, within the next week and a half. So I'll be doing that kind of presentation.
Is that something they do in class with their teacher, or is it something
it
more
depends on the district. So some of the science teachers, I know, for example, in Meadow, Miss Bell always really does a great job going back and reviewing the program, talking to the kids, and then making sure that everybody turns in something. Some of the other larger districts, they may or may not. They may have some extra time, maybe during testing time, or some extra work that's an extra work project. So it may or may not be a required assignment for some. But I would encourage the kids to participate. It's a good way for them to get a little art in. Some of this, art's hard to. We don't have a lot of art instruction or time for art, so this is a good way to put science with the artwork and get the kids involved and give them an outlet to express some ideas or some thoughts, and also to present some things that maybe they learned from the presentation back in their artwork again.
Do you guys sell those calendars? Or?
We give them away free. So I am head chief in charge of production. So I go out and do the calendar presentations. I gather up all the artwork. We evaluate those. We usually have a couple of judges that come in and take a look at the pictures, and then we select, and then I put them together so they'll be ready to go at the end of May, about the time school assemblies and school awards get going. So that's also something else that I'm doing in the meantime. So between programs or doing other things, I'm working on getting calendars put together, playing in print shop, and doing some work there. So that's another fun thing, another art thing that I get to do. The other thing that we have coming up in all 3 districts, starting in April, will be our rainwater harvesting workshops, and those have been really well attended. We'll put some advertisement out on our web pages, but we'll also put that information in the newspapers, so anybody who's listening will send you information for Town Talk to post as well. We start with our first district will be April 3rd, which is going to be in Seminole at the Llano Estacado Water District office. We do give away rain barrels and rain chains, so if you're signed up to come, you must attend the presentation to be able to get your rain barrel or your rain chains. But we usually have a guest speaker. Our guest speaker that's lined up for 2 of the districts is the education and outreach person from High Plains Water District, and she's also a master gardener. So she's going to present some information from the master gardening side, not just from her education outreach position. And we also have coordinated with some information from Dr. Joey Young from Texas Tech from the soil sciences, and he is a turf grass specialist. So he's going to send us some information that Catherine's going to present during her program, but it's actually going to come from his research and his information on turf grasses. So we'll be sharing with people, which kind of grasses are beneficial for yards, how much water do they take, some facts there. So maybe people that are either building homes or wanting to redo their landscape can think about xeriscaping, but they can also consider the most appropriate turf grasses for our region. So
what is a rain chain? I have not heard of that.
It could be as simple as just a regular chain, linked, but it's attached to the eave of your house.
Okay.
And it guides and directs the water down the chain, either into your rain barrel for collection, or you can direct it actually into a French drain, or a low spot in your yard, or maybe into your garden. So it's just a way of directing the water, and it attaches directly to the eave of your house. There is an attachment that goes with the rain chain if you have gutters or already have a gutter system. There's a little attachment that you can put on. But most people that don't have a gutter system, look for a way where it just doesn't pour off the corner,
right.
But if you put it where those connections are, where your roof line connects, you can direct that water where you want it to go, to flow.
Is there a fee for that class?
No fee. It's free to the communities in all 3 communities. So we'll do one in Plains on April 20th. Again, in Seminole is April 3rd. At Plains, we'll be at the community building. They're in Plains, not at the district office. And then our program here in Brownfield at the South Plains office, in our where our demo garden is and where we have our barn, will actually be on Thursday, May 4th. But something different that we're going to try here in Brownfield is we're going to have a rainwater Harvesting Awareness Week, which will be that whole entire week. So I've got to do a little work talking to the judge, maybe see if we can get a proclamation. But we're trying to, the focus of this district has been rainwater harvesting. And Lindy Harris, the manager, that's really been a passion of hers. And Lane Marlowe, the field technician, has done quite a bit of work, on the Xeriscape garden, putting in a rainwater harvesting system on our barn, on our storage barn. Working with, for example, Glenn Martin and partnering with the Soil and Water Conservation on a big project out at the Martin family barns. There's been a big project out there. So rainwater harvesting has really sort of been the pet project of the South Plains Water District, and just trying to get more word out. We're going to give away rain barrels on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We're also going to encourage people. We'll get the education trailer set up at a couple of different locations. We have yet to determine that. We're talking to some people. But we're going to be out probably from 11:30 to 1:30. So middle of the day when people are out and about doing business, at banks or going to lunch, then maybe they can stop by and visit with us. But we'll still have our regular office days, and the office will still be open. So we'll do it during our lunchtime. And allow people maybe to come sign up for the rainwater harvesting workshop. Those spaces are limited. So if anybody's interested in any of the 3 districts, that's in our listening areas, then they need to contact the water district offices in their communities because, again, spaces are limited just because of the cost. Most of the rain barrels, they run anywhere from $75 to over $200, but the ones that we try to get are about 65-gallon barrels, and they're about $100 a barrel. So, and then a set of rain chains, a full set of rain chain is about 8.5 feet, and those run almost $100 as well. So we split those into 2 separate pieces so we can get 2 out of 1 and do 4-foot lengths on those. So, I mean, if somebody's registered, they're getting about $150 in rainwater harvesting equipment.
It's great.
Free
and the knowledge
to attend and the knowledge to go along with it and to be able to implement that at their home and to start doing some conservation practices at home.
That's awesome. Well, let's go ahead and take a short break, and when we come back, we'll find out what else is going on. So stay tuned.
When it comes to delicious food, great wine, and an inviting atmosphere, look no further than the Triple D. The Triple D offers not only unique food items on their menu, they also have an excellent assortment of your favorite wines to go along with your meal. Located in downtown Brownfield, the Triple D isn't just a restaurant, it's also a great place to enjoy a glass of wine while listening to some of the best in live entertainment. The Triple D is open Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and Friday evenings between 5 p.m. and 10 p.m. Check out their Facebook for daily lunch specials, as well as their live entertainment schedule. Call 637-0243 or just stop by their location at 519 West Main. The Triple D, your first stop for fun, food, and wine.
Woo! Big Mac, Mac Jr., Grand Mac 2. That's 3 Mac sizes made just for you. So no matter where you might be at, there's a Big Mac for that. Big Mac for that. Lunchtime already. Today's extraordinary. Got rid of all that spam. Clear the paper jam. Big Mac for that. Juicy, cheesy, iconic Big Mac burger. Now in 3 sizes. Only at McDonald's for a limited time. Man, I'm loving it. At participating McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Welcome back to the TownTalk Show, and we are visiting with Michelle Cooper, who has a lot going on over with the water conservation. And what else is there that we need to be looking forward to? You said your scholarship deadline.
Yes, our scholarship deadline was yesterday evening. Actually, last night at midnight was the cutoff. So I came in this morning and I had one that was submitted like at 11:18 p.m. last night. So
they got it in.
They got it in. And it's been fun to watch the shift over the last couple of years since I've been involved with it. The first year, we only had very few submissions. I think each district may have had 5 total submissions.
Oh, wow.
Last year, we tripled our submissions to 15. I know this year, Seagraves alone sent me 15.
Wow.
So out of all the 8 high schools that I serve, our numbers have really increased in each district. We had very little participation in one of the districts last year, and I probably have 4 or 5 times as many submissions this year. So I've really pushed with the counselors to encourage those kids to participate. So anybody out there that's going to be a senior next year, be watching for it. In Llano Estacado, which is Gaines County, and in South Plains school districts, which is Brownfield area, we give $1,000 for the first place entry and then $500 for the second place entry to each school district. So you're not competing against each school district, you're competing against your own school district. And in Yoakum County, we give $2,000 for the first place entry and $1,000 for the second place entry. So it's a pretty good chunk of change.
Mm-hmm. Why is there a difference in the numbers as far as the award money?
In Llano Estacado, in Gaines County, we have 3 school districts, and same thing in South Plains. So to divide that money out equitably among the school districts, it's a little bit lower. And then we only have 2 school districts in Yoakum County that we serve. So
if someone is a junior this year and wanting to keep that in mind, is it judged solely off the essay, or are there other factors like GPA and anything else?
And that's what we looked at. We thought, there are a lot of opportunities for kids based on GPA or based on class ranking or based on some of those things. Sometimes there's a kid out there who may have just decided, I have what it takes to go to college, and maybe it's their senior year, and maybe they're not ranked as high, but they have the willpower and the desire. So we base it on the essay, and
it's an equal playing ground.
So it's an equal field for anybody who's willing to do the work. Mm-hmm. And, unfortunately, not everybody's willing to do that work. We do provide a prompt in October. So they have from October until the end of February to process, what the topic is, do a little research, start mapping out their essay, talk to different people. I post a lot of information and a lot of links on the SOCOP web Facebook page, and also we put some information on the web page. So, just this last 2 weeks, I've been putting links about this year's topic, which was direct potable reuse, which basically means using wastewater for drinking water. So I put a lot of information out there. So if people are paying attention, they can find some different information to help them along with their essay. But I'm excited to see what the kids have. I think we're going to have some hard decisions. I glanced at some of the essays that were submitted. I haven't read any of them. But they look well thought out, especially in comparison to some of the submissions that we've had in the past. I think kids are finally paying attention, and I've put enough information out there to the teachers and to the counselors of what we're looking for, as far as format, because these should be kids that are wanting to extend their education, whether that's to college, a junior college, a trade school. It could be online learning. As long as they're continuing in their education, they have an opportunity to receive scholarship money from us if they're willing to submit an essay to us. So,
and when will you be awarding those? After you judge them solely by yourself, or do you have?
Good grief, no! I am not an English teacher. I actually solicit retired English teachers. And volunteers from each county, and they most graciously provide, give us their time and go through and evaluate each essay. They're given some criteria, for example, format, what should be on their cover page. Did they have their resources cited? Did they actually do some research and cite some resources? Because we've had some in the past that just said, I just remember from being a 4th grader, or, when you came and talked to us. Or so we want them to actually do some information seeking before they put that essay together. But it's typically a question about, what do you think, what do you feel, and why? This year, would you be willing to, what would you think about your city or town using direct potable reuse as a source of water. We know that there's only limited, finite amounts of water available to us. It all recirculates in the water cycle, but what was here millions of years ago is still here. It may be in a different form, whether it's in a gas form or it's in liquid form or it's locked up in an ice cap or it's under the ground in the aquifer. All of our water is continually being recycled and reused. We just have to think about where it's available to us. And, depending on where you live, it may be more available and readily accessible versus other places where you live. So that's kind of what's going on with scholarship. And also coming up on March 22nd, and that's part of why I'm here, is along with our talks to our kids this month, March 22nd is designated as World Water Day. And that actually began, the first World Water Day was in 1993, and it was established with the United Nations General Assembly. And the United Nations, or the UN, got together and along with some information from the WHO, or the World Health Organization, they started looking at water quality, water accessibility, and lack of water access to different communities within and around the world. So this year's theme, and this is, I said it to somebody, and I said, now listen to it this way. The theme this year is why waste water? But if you say it differently, why waste water? So it's about, are we reducing and reusing and recycling? And are we considering wastewater, which is direct potable reuse, which tied right into our theme for this year for the scholarships? But are we using wastewater as a source of water to support communities? And a couple of facts that you guys may or may not know. Globally, and this was kind of interesting to me, globally, over 80% of the wastewater generated by society flows back into the ecosystem without being treated or reused. Okay? And if you break that down, in high-income countries, the United States would be one of those. In high-income countries, very industrial countries, very wealthy countries, we actually treat about 70% of our wastewater, okay, as compared to if you look at a low-income nation, they only treat 8% of their industrial and their municipal wastewater. So what happens to the other 92%? Mm-hmm. I mean, it goes somewhere. Worldwide, 1.8 billion people use a source of drinking water that's actually contaminated with feces. If you've done any mission work, then you know. 663 million people still lack improved drinking water sources, so treated water sources. And I know there was some mission work from maybe First Baptist or some of the men in West Texas that went to Haiti and put in drinking wells and water source wells, filtration system wells in Haiti. I know a young lady that's a 5th grader in Lubbock Cooper who actually has started a project to fund some supplies for water filtration for Haiti as well. It says by 2050, the year 2050, which, I never thought we'd see 2017, so 2050 may get here before we know it, close to 70% of the world's population will live in cities as compared to the 50% that live in cities today. So if you think about that, there's going to be a need for infrastructure. I know last night in the State of the Union address, there was a lot of discussion about infrastructure and building resources within the United States. What people don't realize, and this was a question that was posed to me by Allie Cowart, who is the 5th grader in Lubbock Cooper. She asked me, she said, well, doesn't everybody around our towns have good drinking water? I said, no, there's kids in our counties that don't have running water in their homes. Mm-hmm. There's kids in our county that don't have filtered drinking water. There's kids in our counties that their well systems are contaminated. So we think globally that it's a problem to be in a water crisis, as we would say, but sometimes we have to look closer to home and think about what we might do. So, it was nice to hear that we're going to be working on infrastructure in the United States, because if you travel much in the United States, there are still some areas that are very underdeveloped and underserved as far as water and accessibility to water. So, but that's with the United Nations and the World Water Day on March 22nd. And then we lead into April with Earth Day. Earth Day is April 22nd. But I'll be doing some work in Plains with the elementary. We're doing a conservation day. And there'll be people like me who serve in other areas like the Soil and Water Conservation District or Linegar or other things. And we're going to have stations set up for the kids to come around, and we'll talk to them about a topic about conservation for our particular, item. So I'll talk about water conservation. The lady from Soil and Water will talk about soil conservation. Linegar will talk about electric conservation. So, there's a lot going to be happening in the next couple of months. It's a whirlwind up until the end of school, starting now. March 1st starts the run. But it's always an exciting time of year. It's always different. It's always unique. It's fun to see the kids. I get re-energized when I go into a school. It was fun to do a program in Denver City with 150 first graders the other day and talk about soils and how water, works with soil and how we use the water from the ground. So it's always unique, always fun, always different.
And what's the best way for people to follow all these events you're doing? Is it
Oh,
on
good
Facebook,
grief.
or?
Yes, I have a Facebook page. I think I'm linked on Town Talk, so you can check me out there. It's SOCOP Saving H2O.
Okay.
And then you can check out Saving H2O or savingh2o.org, which is my web page. So there's a web page. Okay. You can go to any of the water district web pages. So South Plains, Sandyland, or Llano Estacado, go to their web page, and there's a link to the education page there. And it'll show you all the activities and projects and things that we work on or that we do in a year's time, which is quite a few. But that's always a good way to get a hold of me, and they can email me at savegroundwater@gmail.com.
Okay. And if someone wants to sign up for one of the South Plains rainwater class,
if you want to sign up for one of the workshops, call the water district offices. Okay. And make sure that you get on the list. And if you're not going to be able to attend, and you have signed up, go ahead and let us know ahead of time, because we'll have people on the waiting list. We'll give away, we'll give away 20 rain barrels at the workshop here in Brownfield. We'll do 3 leading up in the earlier part of the week. So we're giving away quite a few. Yeah. We're giving away 11 or 12 in Seminole, and then we're going to give away 15 over in Plains. So
great opportunity.
a lot great opportunity. So I'm on the hunt for rain barrels right now, which is, if you see a big semi that it's probably my order coming in. But we've tried to provide some service to community members. A lot of the people that have been, especially to the workshop here in Brownfield, are repeat customers. Mm-hmm. So they come every year to hear a little something different, and we have some repeats in the other districts. Primarily because you hear it one time, and then you may take one thing away that you can do or you can implement. Right. And then you come back the next year and you say, oh, well, I already did that, but I can do this year. Mm-hmm. And so, maybe working your way up as far as organizing your yard and your landscape and your home to be water conservation friendly. Mm-hmm.
Well,
but it's a fun time.
Yeah, it sounds like great opportunities coming up. Lots of great things going on. Thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Absolutely. It's always a joy and a pleasure. Yes. I always have a good time.
We do too. And we will have this interview up on our website, on Facebook, for everyone to listen to if they missed part of it. Thank you so much to our sponsors. And for the Town Talk Show this morning, this was Kelsey Slaughter.
And Danessa Churchwell.
Have a blessed day.
You've been listening to the Town Talk Show, a broadcast of Town Talk Radio Productions. If you would like to comment on our show or promote your civic or church event, or if you have an idea for an interesting story, give us a call at 806-637-0030 from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, or you can drop us a line at info@towntalkradio.com. You can also follow us on Facebook. Thanks for tuning in and have a great day.